On June 19th, 2024, Kendrick Lamar popped out and showed the world that he is, in fact, the best rapper in the game right now. We got to break down this concert because this was a monumental occasion. It was literally Black history in the making. If you're new here, though, this is the show where we chat, argue, wax poetic about the things that we love, hate, and everything that's simply worth talking about. All songs, all artists have something to say, and we enjoy trying to analyze what they capture. This is the Chatter After. I'm Mike. That's Didge. That's Cliff. Guys, let's just dive into it. What were your thoughts on Ken and Friends?
I loved it. It was great. Everything was so calculated, so put together for a reason, and it was all built around showing what the West Coast is about, because too many people, not only just Drake, too many people talk about the West Coast like they don't have a seat at the table. And so for them to show everybody like this is what it's about and put together one of the greatest nights in hip hop that I've ever seen was just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Hit us, Cliff.
So I had a great time. I had a superb time. Fantastic, if you will. I'm what you did. Like, I agree with, even though I always find it funny, 'cause I'm just like, LA, y'all just had a major moment like 2 years ago at the Super Bowl halftime show. Like,
true.
We know what y'all about, but but I don't mind seeing it again. Like, keep reminding us and what have you. But yeah.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them, Cliff. Come on now.
Over and over. Just, sometimes you just gotta remind them one more time.
Yeah, but, every couple years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. That was a lot of artists, and we'll get into that because I definitely got my favorite moments, as I'm sure y'all do and whatnot. But yeah, when did this drop? Was this like a Wednesday night?
Yeah, that was it was the most Saturdayest Wednesday ever.
Man, ooh, I didn't get to sleep till like 2 a.m. and I had work the next day, and I'm like, God, Kendrick, I hate you for this, but it's so awesome.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a great celebration, a great funeral. We'll get into that later. But Mike, what do you think?
This was one of the greatest performances I've ever had the pleasure of seeing. Like, legitimately. I kind of want to talk about what led up to this point, though, specifically because doing this on Juneteenth is very intentional, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I'm going to toss it to Didge right quick. We had the whole rap beef, and we haven't talked about that. We wanted to talk about that on the channel as it was happening, but we didn't get a chance to. So we're going to kind of recap that a little bit, because I think all of that led up to this moment, which is why that payoff hit so hard. It was almost like an anime arc in a lot of ways.
The whole thing is insane, because obviously, the rumors in hip hop, and I can't be calling rumors at this point, just the feeling has always been that Drake and Kendrick don't really like each other. Like, yeah, they had the early career, the early career features on each other's stuff. I think Kendrick might have even showed up at, I think it was the Take Care concert, that concert. So I think Kendrick opened for Drake, but it all sort of, I think it all really, really first came to a head during when Kendrick dropped Control. That was back in 2013. That tells you how long this has really been bubbling. And it just never was really the same since. Like, it was a lot of sneak dissing, a lot of I'm gonna say something here and throw out like an Instagram caption, especially from Drake's side. And Kendrick was never really the one super forefront in the focus. He obviously was throwing out some disses, like when he showed up on the Compton album, stuff like that. But I think First Person Shooter might have been where Kendrick was finally like, all right, it's been enough. J. Cole hate he got caught up in it. J. Cole, my guy, I really hate that he got caught in it.
Oh, look, man, he got out quick. Don't worry.
He did. Look, I was sick when he got out, though, because I was like, no, we can't have this. Hindsight, he made the right decision. I understand now.
He in Brooklyn on his bike right now.
Seriously, I saw that on X. It was but
living his best life.
For sure. But when First Person Shooter came out, it's crazy because the line that I feel like sort of just tip the scales. Like I said, he already probably just really doesn't like Drake. But Cole was the one who said, we the big three. And I feel like Kendrick heard that and was like, all right, it's time. I'm in the booth. Obviously, right after that, Like That comes out. And we get Kendrick's, fuck the big three, nigga. It's just Big Me. Then he goes off.
I want to take a second to revisit Like That, because can we talk about how mid that song is until Kendrick shows up and just starts throwing shade?
I can't. I like that.
It's a good song. Don't get me wrong, but if Kendrick wasn't a feature on it, I don't know if we remember it. That's my thing.
To be fair, I never finished the album. Like, I listened like half and then got to Kendrick's part. I was like, all right, I feel like I've heard enough for now, but like I haven't gone back to listen.
I rock with Future. I like We Don't Trust You. We Still Don't Trust You is my favorite of the two, but
yeah, that's a great one.
I rock with it, but no, Kendrick, his verse on Like That definitely takes it over the top. You're right.
That's not me saying Like That is bad. I want to make that clear. Great song, but like it was a 7 and he made it a 12.
I'll for sure give you that. Yeah, no, he took it to where it needed to be. And honestly, right after that, Drake didn't reply for a while. I think it was like a couple weeks. I can't remember the full time frame, but he replied with Push-Ups. Right after Push-Ups, I think it was a week later after that, he did the Tailor-Made freestyle, basically talking about why haven't you replied? And it was weird to me at that time because it's like you took like 2-3 weeks to reply. I think you put out like an Instagram caption in between or whatever, but you waited a week and it's like, oh, where you at? Why you ain't supposed to reply? You supposed to be the boogeyman. And again, the other mistake I think was on the Tailor-Made freestyle to use the AI Snoop and Tupac. Because now you not only, it was just super disrespectful. And that's what I remember. I was talking to my guy Bacardi about it, and I'm like, this is probably the mistake. Like, you shouldn't have did that, because now not only are you gonna not only are obviously the artist you're dissing is mad, but I feel like the hip hop fans are mad because it's like, why are you using AI to do this?
Yeah, I feel like it. And we would talk about as these songs were dropping. Every time Drake released a diss track, he always did something goofy. That it's just like, dude, come on, man. We could like Push-Ups was okay, but like every song after that, he did something dumb and out of pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to address the comments right quick.
Oh, for sure.
What's up, Trayvon? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I mean, greatest for sure. Nobody cares about Kanye. I don't think it's.
I don't even remember what Kanye said. I didn't even know that. I ain't gonna hold you. I was hoping you would elaborate because I do not remember that at all.
Kanye jumped in and started just saying random crap. If we're being honest, I don't think anybody cared enough. It got buried under, because remember, everybody started dropping disses. The Weeknd, like nobody remembers what the Weeknd said.
Right, Rick dropped one before all this.
Rick Ross's really was hilarious though, because he was just sitting there calling him a white boy, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, it was a lot. Did
y'all see that Rick even like changed the cover photo for the
Yes.
Like, I don't know if Mike saw it, but like that's hilarious. Like a whole full-on wig, bow tie, like
had me crying because Rick Ross's was just antics. Like I didn't take his as a respectable diss because I just felt like you were just out here just putting out antics.
Yeah, Rick Ross was just. He's just like that troll on the side where it's like the real fight has happened here, and he's just like the random thug, like, yeah, Batman, don't mess with the Joker. And it's like, okay. Also,
not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so Kendrick finally responds, right? A couple weeks after that with Euphoria.
With Euphoria. I remember because I was in New York at the time, and we were just. That was the day we were just chilling, and my brother, he was like, "Yo, Kendrick dropped." And I was like, oh, "Okay, dope." Listening to it, like, this is fire. I can't wait to see what Drake comes back with. Before Drake could reply again, like a couple days later, he was like, "Hey, Kendrick dropped." I'm like, "You told me that like 2 days ago. Like, what we doing here?" You're like, "No, new track, Kendrick dropped." So that's when 616 in LA came out, and that track was Euphoria was kind of like, "Look, don't test me." And 616 in LA sort of, I'm gonna let you know why you shouldn't test me. Then right after that, Family Matters came out because that was on the 4th. And I remember just the reaction like, oh, Drake actually came out with something that was crazy. You know, it had its hits. And I swear it was 10 minutes later because we were still talking about, we had just finished listening to Family Matters. And my guy was like, all right, y'all ready to listen to Kendrick's Reply? And we like, what? What you mean?
I remember that night because we were in Discord and I'm just like, oh my God, did y'all see this?
I was like, how did he reply so quickly?
I want us to go back for a second to 616 in LA though, when he says everyone at OVO is working for him.
Yes.
And I feel like, I feel like dropping not even an hour later is that song referencing things that he's already said. It's like, that means he definitely had them all. Because how does he know what's in Drake's songs already?
Like, that proved that somebody in OVO was like, all right, this is what we about to do. This is how we're going to do it. And this is the time we're going to do it. So he had it ready. And remember, the drop right after that,
man.
It wasn't Not Like Us. Not Like Us was the last one. That was Meet the Graham. So that was the one where Kendrick drops the "You Have Another Child" thing. And I think that just kind of just went nowhere. I feel like that was just sort of, I feel like that track was sort of to be like, look, I can reply this quickly because I want to let you know, yo, people don't like you.
Right.
Like they really don't like you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just eerie. Like him starting off that song addressing Drake's kid and then his parents. It's just like, that's some boogeyman type behavior where it's just like, oh, this is dangerous. This is scary. The kid thing,
I really don't like you. Like,
yeah, the kid thing, like, if that's true or if it's not, I don't think it matters because also later on in the song, he's like, you have a million kids. And it could have just been metaphoric of like, you probably have a bunch of kids because of course you did. But that's when it got real. It was like, oh yeah, Drake can't trust anybody. And I think you kind of feel that from Drake's reply later on.
Oh, for sure. It was,
the ghostwriters kind of vanished. You can tell that last song was written by Drake.
Yeah. It like I said, that with that one, I don't think that it was fully supposed to be. That's an insane take. I saw that earlier and I was like, I gotta reply.
This is what Kanye said. To follow up for the audio listeners, J. Cole's music makes the dry.
A whole lot though. Like we not even
that's an insane take.
Wait, hold up. Was Grippy a response to that? Oh my god.
Oh my god. It better not been. J. Cole, please tell me it wasn't. Like, please. But to go back to the disses, like I said, Meet the Grams came out, and I don't even think it was a full day later. Not Like Us dropped, and Not Like Us hit the streets like cocaine in the 80s. If we're just gonna be real, Not Like Us dropped and went crazy. It did everything that basically Drake said Kendrick couldn't do. He said Kendrick couldn't do a dance, basically a club hit.
Yeah,
Not Like Us is a club hit for sure. He's
certified banger.
Like,
I've seen videos where it was playing a kid's birthday party. Like
I did too. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's insane.
Billie Eilish is rocking to it on her Instagram, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's over.
Even Megan dropped a video on her concert or like her tour.
I saw that too. Yeah, she was rapping that.
It was quick. I'm like, even though low-key she kind of started all of this. Like,
yeah, she definitely did with hits, right?
Low-key, Cat Williams also kind of just started this for the year, but this is just a behavior we got for 2024.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this has been a year of get everything off your chest. This has been a year of people, I guess, sort of being exposed for the person that they really have been. And Kendrick's not the first to address a lot of this stuff about Drake, if we being honest. Like, a lot of people have talked about how Drake kind of moves sneakily. Drake does all of this stuff, and it's always been masked behind the hit. And it's just, these all came right at the right time where people were fed up. And Drake, I think it was my brother was talking about it, where Drake sort of first did he got the women away from him. You know, the women, he always had the women fans. Then he started dissing women. And it's like, now who's your backing? Like, yes, you have some men friends, but your biggest fan base was always the women. And when they started alienating you, that's where everything was like, it started to fall. So, like you said, Not Like Us came out. Then Drake replied with The Heart Part 6, which is to what you were just saying. It definitely feels like it's definitely a just, all right, Drake. Because even at the end, he's talking about, I'm never going to address this again and stuff. Like, it felt like a wave the white flag moment. And for all intents and purposes, Not Like Us was thriving. You know, it hit the Billboard charts and all that. It was going crazy. People were talking about, I can't wait till football season. Cliff definitely got the fresh cut.
Oh, trust me, we let him know before we went live.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, like everybody was like, oh, I can't wait till the bands get it for football season. You're already hearing the HBCU bands practicing it and stuff, and it's like September was
gonna EA get enough time to add this to the new game?
Oh my god. If it shows up in college football.
Oh, it is. HBCU. As soon as we do the march-ins, I'm expecting every band leader, every drum major.
For sure.
Like,
I've already seen clips of them training it. Like, they're already, because obviously, they're on campus getting everything ready. They're prepared for that. But then it was like, was it like June 3rd, June 4th? It was early June. We get the pop out. The pop out is gonna be on Juneteenth. And again, everybody went crazy because they like, Not Like Us on Juneteenth is going to hit insane. And as we got there, we saw it hit insane.
It hit insane. I think it's crazy analyzing those songs. We're gonna get to the pop out in a second, because
for sure.
But like, just going back to Euphoria and seeing how basically everything Kendrick said in that song be true, of him making music that electrifies him, right? That's Not Like Us. I just think all that stuff is very crazy. Even the superpowers being neutralized and like he's spiraling. It's like, yeah, Drake ended up spiraling, which is, even now, like, he's posting weird photos on Instagram, and it's just like, he's acting like he doesn't notice what's happening, but he clearly does notice what's happening.
It's 100% the oh man, they got me, I'm gonna act like I'm cool about it. Like,
but arguably, you could say this started even when he first responded, because most people like, why you taking so long to respond? Like, don't do that, Drake.
That was just so weird to me.
It was like, you didn't win yet, and you already like, hey, what you got? Like, don't do that to Kendrick.
I think that he thought he was going to be able to pull what he did to Meek Mill. Remember, he did that basically. He thought he was going to be able to. I forgot what the first track was that he dropped for Meek, but the second one he popped out with Back to Back, and obviously the way that hit, the way that sort of ended that beef, I think he felt like Tailor-Made Freestyle was going to be that, and it was a miscalculation for sure. Like, that track wasn't even great enough to pull what he thought Back to Back was going to do. Charged Up was the first one. Thanks, Trayvon.
Thank you. But yeah,
Trayvon, keep us in track here.
Yeah, let's go. Trayvon was just being blunt of like, Not Like Us, the only ones that sounds good. I disagree. I think
Euphoria,
all of Kendrick's are good. Even 616 LA, it's not the best one of the bunch, but that was still a really decent song. Even Push Ups is okay. Drake's songs were okay.
Family Matters, I'm not gonna hold you. I thought Family Matters was a great counterpunch. And then it got taken away so quickly. It wasn't like, I didn't think Family Matters was bad. It's just
we never felt the real impact, right? Because it got undercut in less than 30 minutes.
Less than like an hour or so.
Yeah.
Maybe 17 minutes, honestly. I feel like it was insane. Like, and mind you, because y'all will find it funny, I was like sitting down on my like living room table putting a model set together when Kendrick dropped that. Like, it was such a weird day. Like, as y'all said earlier, but like, I was just like, I'm minding my business, do my little nerdy things, whatever. And then Kendrick responded, I was just like, oh, he went for murder. Okay. He went for the juggler. Okay. This is crazy. This is wild. It was crazy.
Xeno Blue has a very good point. Family Matters. He started, obviously, Kendrick focused. And I don't know if he felt like yeah, this is it. Let me talk to everybody else. And that could have taken out some of the impact. But again, I think we'll also, like you said, Mike, we'll never know because Kendrick dropped in 15 minutes, and then right after that, Not Like Us came again. So it was just like,
yeah,
all right.
Drake's biggest problem is he was trying to fight the field instead of focusing on the boss in front of him, and it's like,
he was trying
and Kendrick said that he said that multiple times, just like, hey, don't worry about them, focus on me. And that being Drake's downfall. The AI stuff, like, I don't know why you would do that. That took the wind out the sails. Also, rapping like you're trying to get the slaves freed is a thing that you just don't say.
Yeah, that track, that line was insane.
How is that a diss? Like, you don't want people free? Like, Drake, this is what the culture is talking about here. Like, why would that even be?
That's you see that right there.
Everything.
That right there was the problem, is that nobody like us would think that's a diss or think that's a bad thing, which is exactly the point of, like, yeah, he don't get it. He ain't like us. That's the point. And that's why it's like he fell into that trapping on his own, which is insane.
Yeah, it was a mistake to use that line for sure. And I wonder, like, if he could go back, would he be like, all right, I'm gonna take out that line? Or if he stands beside it, because I'm assuming that the gist was, you just a real conscious rapper. You don't make stuff that the general public rocks with, which I feel like evidence has shown that that's clearly a lie, first off. But why would you use that analogy to do that, to say that? Like, you could have thought of a million different ways to find an analogy to say, you don't know how to make stuff for the general public. You don't know how to make stuff that is popular, but you went with, you trying to free the slaves. It's a mistake no matter how you write it.
It was a miscue on all accounts from Drake the entire time, if we being honest, because every diss from, like, every major thing that Drake says in his songs didn't feel like they either should have been counted as a diss or just felt irrelevant. Like, okay, Kendrick's short. It's 2024. It's not a big deal. Who cares?
Like,
or
now, like, we don't care anymore. Everyone
right.
loves.
That's
his kids are day freeze. It's just like, okay. And I mean, shocking revelation, but also, like, that doesn't change how I think about Kendrick, review his music, review this beef in any way.
But you also can't be like, hey, your kid's not yours, when the counteract of that is you're a deadbeat dad. Because it's like, then it's just, oh, you saying this dude is basically raising kids for a woman that he, like, a woman that he's with, that they not his kids, but he's still stepping up to raise them. That's a crazy way to say, oh, that's the crazy way to counter you a deadbeat. Hey, OVO Gerald, I'm sorry, bro. Oh my God. I don't know who you are, but I'm sorry, bro. I think you speak for no one.
Right now. Like,
nah, I'm with Gerald. Definitely. Drizzy won. And then this is the perfect reply.
That is. No,
but
no, that's a good point. I forgot and that's sort of what I was getting to, that he was trying to, that is what Jay-Z did to Nas, but you know what Jay-Z didn't say to Nas, because again, you're right. You're not trying to get the slaves free. Like, it's
such a weird pull. I don't know. But that all leads to the pop out, which is a 4-hour extravaganza celebration of West Coast, Best Coast. 25 artists popped up, whether they performed a full song or they guests on another song. 25 LA artists showed up, popped out, showed us who they were. It was a lot.
It was.
It was fun.
Well, it was great. It started late, obviously, like a lot of stuff does. That had nothing. I just wanted to bring that up because, feel like a lot of stuff starts late all the time.
But shout out, even though for like people like me who live on the East Coast, it's still a great time to watch.
It was
that 3-hour difference. I'm like, oh, it's only 8:30, 9 o'clock. And all right, cool. I can stay up for 4 hours for this. It's fine.
Like, that was dope to see. Like, they really made it like prime time.
Yeah.
But like I said, what I was saying from earlier I love that because LA and the West Coast in general catches so much stuff. Even though, like you said, 2 years ago they had the whole Super Bowl thing, people still act like California just doesn't have anything to say for hip hop anymore. Like they'll name like the same like 6 artists. So what I love what Kendrick did here was, okay, I'm gonna show you 4 hours worth, and I'm only gonna be one of the 4 hours. So you about to get people like Ray Vaughn, like West Side Boogie, like Zoe Osama, like you getting all these people who the general public may not know, but I guarantee California knows, because all my friends who are in California, they were hyped for that first hour. Hell, when Tommy the Clown came up there, do you know how many people who were so geeked? And it's just it was beautiful to show, like, look, we don't have to be known in every single city because we are that big. Like California, I think I was talking to Jamie about it. Cities like California, like Dallas, like New York, like Atlanta, they love their artists so much, they play their artists so much that you don't necessarily have to be known in every single city, because you can build an entire career just being known in your city. Chicago too, like all these major cities, and that's what they did. They just wanted to show these are the artists that we love for a grander scale. So I was so excited to watch. Even like I said, the first 2 hours was great because I learned artists I didn't know of.
Yeah, like I was telling you before, I'm like, hold on, let me pull out the notepad. We're cooking now.
Yeah.
Looking at it, I thought it was great. And Trayvon in the comments here is saying he should do this every year. Yeah, I'd be down. I feel like even if Kendrick doesn't perform himself, or if he just shows up and does a couple of songs as a cameo, I love that this was essentially, in gaming terms, an indie showcase.
Yeah.
Where all these artists we don't know got a chance to perform on this big stage, and they streamed it for the whole world to see for free. We didn't have to pay a dime to still feel like we were there. And we were introduced to so many new artists, and it's like, hey, they have a SoundCloud link. Hey, they're on Spotify.
Yep.
Boom. Insane. I love that, just from a creative standpoint.
And honestly, if we being honest, it goes going back to the diss point of it. Drake said that he was more known in Kendrick's own city. He's more loved in his own city. Again, I think evidence proves that's probably a lie. You know, Kendrick brought all these people there for a reason. One, to show what LA is, but also to be like, this is what somebody who's really loved by their city does. Like, this is what it's mean to be loved by LA.
Yeah. Cliff, what did you think of those first 3 hours of the pop out?
So I learned a lot, because as we talked earlier, y'all know the sweet part that I started paying attention to. Because to be fair, when I first watched it, I had missed the whole first hour. And whatnot. So like for me, it literally started when Mustard's set had begun and whatnot. So I had to go back and watch everything that I missed. Like I missed all of that, but honestly, I got so much to catch up on. Like my Spotify already has like 500 albums of just everything. I'm just like, I gotta add more now. I'm missing out. It's beats, it's songs. I'm like, oh, I need to transcribe this and what have you. But yeah, it was fun. I had a good time. I think it was such a great start, especially like when K-Dot said K-Dot and friends, he meant it.
Yeah.
Like the entire crew, the entire city, Compton specifically is just out here. That is it. Compton is on stage, and I loved every moment of it.
Yeah. Go ahead, dude. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, even if we're going into the wide variety of artists, like they had Tyler the Creator, Steve Lacy, Roddy Ricch on the same stage as some of these super hood LA artists, and I just loved it because, again, going back to, I feel like what it meant for the West Coast, it's like, no, we not all gangster rap, we are everything, and it was just beautiful.
We got the alt, we got the pop, we got everything. Like when Steve and Tyler popped up, I was like, oh, this is for me. This is specifically my section of the concert. I was like, okay, great. I appreciate that.
I saw people online who I guess had just never seen Steve Lacy. Like they didn't know he was from California. They didn't know he was black. They was like, I just know these songs. And they like, this a black dude from Cali? And
they
it was
don't
just
know he's part of the internet either.
Oh, I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they don't.
Because that's a whole like origin story that people just like. If y'all haven't listened to the internet, check them out. Check out Steve Lacy's project as well. And shout out to Sid. Love her. Great. But sorry, continue. My bad.
No, that's no. Like I said, that was great. YG getting his moment with Mustard, like that was
YG so after the thing with Drake earlier.
Yeah, like it was like I said, even before Kendrick got up there, I was like, this is just dope. And then obviously Kendrick's set it took it over the top again.
Yeah, I want to talk about the presentation a little bit of this concert because I, after that, have gone back and watched other TV concerts. I watched the Taylor Swift Eras Tour on Disney Plus. Lady Gaga just dropped one on Max like 3 weeks ago, if you guys didn't know that. And watching those, they're good. And of course, the artists are great. Like it's Gaga and Taylor at their best, at their primes, really. But it very much feels cinematic in a way where they have like these grand swooping shots, like top down angles. We're doing like extreme close-ups where like we're in Gaga's face, and it's like it's a great production. It doesn't feel like I'm at a concert. Whereas Kendrick's pop out, it felt like I was in the crowd, in that room, feeling that energy from my TV alone by myself. You know? So I think that's very interesting, and that's what made this so special, where it's like you can feel the energy in your living room, in your bedroom, wherever you're watching. And I think a lot of that just comes from like the camera work of like there's no set like, hey, we're on stage with Kendrick for most of the time. The cameras are in the crowd. They're behind people. You have people in front of you holding their phones like you're actually standing there in the concert, so it feels a little bit more immersive. I don't know. I wanted your guys' thoughts on like just how they kind of presented everything cinematically.
The best way I can put it was like simplicity was so key in this, because it also kind of feels like it. I don't want to say it feels like this concert was randomly announced, but it does feel like it just came out of left field, just out of nowhere a little bit. Now they could have been playing this for months for all we know, whatever. But I feel like I didn't hear about it until like a week or two before. If I remember, like I don't know exactly when they announced this concert, but
like Didge said, it was like early June, so 2 weeks ago,
so literally probably 2 weeks ago, like and what have you. But like to get that much coordination going, to have everyone, dot their I's, cross their T's, et cetera. One center stage, one giant jumbotron, lights, pyrotechnics. I actually want to know, like, was Kendrick the artistic director? Who set all of this up? Because again, simplicity is key, but like it all works. Everything was, to me, it felt magical. And as you said, Mike, just like experiencing this at home. This is how I felt when I had watched, I hate to bring him into it, but like when I would watch like Justin Timberlake concerts as a kid and whatnot, and what have you, and just like kind of like the simplicities of like whoever was directing at the time, or watching like a Meek Mill concert.
It's gonna ruin the tour. I'm sorry, continue.
No, that's hilarious. Like that's this. I hope this man is okay. Like that's just been a wild week for him and what have you. But yeah, for me it really worked. It just artistry at its best, at its most simple, but also just at its most like honest. I feel.
Shout out to Dave Free.
That's right. Wow. He was the producer.
He was in the credits. Yeah. Good callback, Zeno.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave.
It was the camera. Obviously jumping way ahead to Not Like Us. The WAPs, the camera switches. I forgot who it was on Twitter that said it was like an anime, but oh my god, they are right. Like,
here's the thing. That was trending, right? That tweet of like it feels like an anime. Did y'all notice every time he got to the WAPs, the camera cut every single time? All 5 times that song played, it did it.
Somebody was like, it felt like he hit black flashes back to back. And it just felt like each time it's just black flash. And it's just like you said, the simplicity was key. But when they wanted to be flashy, they chose the right moments. Like,
yeah.
you could tell every time that a diss was coming up, like the cameras would go to red, where it's like, all right, this is go time. It was they knew what they were doing, and I feel like they had to have planned this since the day. Like they there's no way this was a
Yeah, I wanted to ask y'all, did y'all think, like, was this always gonna just be a thing regardless of, that's why we started talking about those diss tracks. Was Kendrick always gonna do something, but then the beef happened, so he added those songs to the set list? Or
I don't know. It feels too perfect. It
does.
Too, like, it just feels like it's perfect, but like it just feels like it was like a in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
At the same time, but like I could see Juneteenth, I could see this concert happening, but I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to explain because there's no way you just put 3 diss tracks seamlessly, mind you, within a set list.
That's also fair, but I'm also like, can you really end a gang war in 2 weeks' time?
It's the weirdest thing because, like, I know Jamie was saying that the year that she was in LA, that Apple or Amazon Music had some type of Juneteenth thing. Like, obviously, I know most major cities, like Mike, obviously here in Milwaukee, we have it. They always have something that's for Juneteenth. Especially since 2020, I feel like the cities that weren't already doing it, they probably quickly spun up more stuff. Like, obviously in the wake of like all of the Black Lives Matter protests and stuff, that took a lot larger just precedence in culture. So it wouldn't surprise me if a Juneteenth celebration was already a thing. Like, I don't know. I would be shocked if LA wasn't already doing that. But to this scale, to get bringing all of these cameras, I could see Kendrick being like, well, yeah, no, let's take this bigger and better. Let's go crazy with it this year. Because now I got something I need to say.
And to add to it, I have no base. I'll have to look this up, but could Kendrick also have an exclusive with Amazon? Because his Mr. Morale concert is also exclusive to Prime. And that's
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
So chances are we're probably writing like this concert was probably planned, but then it just so happened to be perfectly like timed with the beef with Drake. It was like, all right, cool. This is the moment. We going to capitalize on it, use everything, because this is what arguably the biggest time that the entire world's eyes has been on K-Dot. Like, yes, one of the best rappers, arguably the best rapper of our generation. But like this beef, we could say it was probably the most visible time K-Dot has been in our face.
I mean, when Tom Hanks is trying to figure out this beef, you know that you made it big, right?
When your son is explaining it to you, all right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
so yeah, it's interesting. I do think it was probably planned, but then they probably capitalized on the past few months of just what.
And Amazon's a huge company. Like, I'm sure the minute they were like, all right, we need to make this bigger, they probably threw a ton of money at it. It was like, all right, well, let's go. Let's get this ready.
Have you ever played Have You Ever? All right, let's go.
And now they probably looking at it like, all right, what can we do next year? Should we go to
right?
Should we go to New Orleans? Should we go to Philly? Should we go to New York? Like, where can we make more money off of this?
You got to go to Toronto. You got to go to Toronto. Sponsored by New Hoking.
So Mike, pull up this latest comment from Zeno. There it is. That's probably it right there.
There's an executive at Amazon who's in charge of the music concerts. He's from Compton, so he probably has a good relationship. Gotcha. Thank you, Zeno. Being so informative and helpful today.
All the info for it. I appreciate this because I did not know any of this.
I did not know that.
That makes a lot of sense. That's so funny. Drake can never use Amazon again.
Yeah, that's tragic for Drake, but you know.
I did want to point out.
How do you think he order packages real quick? Like, you think he's just like,
Walmart Plus?
Yeah, he's got to use Walmart or Target now. Lucky for him, all the stores are getting their own apps, so he'll be okay. He'll be fine. To quote his arch nemesis, he'll be all right. But I wanted to dive into the set list because it's interesting. He starts the show off with Euphoria. I didn't expect that.
I did not either.
with like I don't know, like starting off with Euphoria. I mean, it makes sense. It's a great song. The crowd loved it, but I feel like DNA would have been the one he would have started with. But that was song number 2, so I thought it was an interesting choice. I didn't know. Did you guys think he was gonna diss Drake in this
No.
performance? Like, I figured Not Like Us was gonna be there, but I didn't think he'd go through every diss he dropped except for Meet the Grams, which, thank God, that song's scary as hell.
I did, honestly. I didn't think he was gonna start Euphoria. I figured, you're gonna. I didn't know what he was gonna start with. DNA was probably a good choice. But I figured those were all coming up somewhere. So to start with Euphoria though was just like, oh, okay, we're this is what we're here for. It set the tone of the night. Like all of DJ Heads and Mustard's, both of their sets felt very celebratory of West Coast. And then you got to Kendrick's set,
obviously Dre out here.
Yeah, like I say, like it set the tone. Like I felt like Kendrick's set kind of was like, well, don't forget what the other reason why we here. Like, yes, we celebrating the West Coast, but also somebody was talking a lot of shit, and we gotta address that. And starting with Euphoria really put you in that mode. Like, okay, we know what we're getting into, and it helps your mindset, because going back to when we were talking about sort of the timeline of the disses, a lot of tracks for just throughout the years from both Drake's and Kendrick's side, people would always question, like, well, is this about the other one? Are they talking about somebody? Like, and starting with Euphoria, now you're in the mindset like, okay, we're here for this. Those lines hit a little different. You like, oh shit, that was about, Drake. Oh shit, yeah, this is the situation he was addressing. And it makes you interact with all of those differently now.
Yeah.
And each song just feels very specific. Like, even when he got to King Kunta, like, I got a phone to pick. I'm like, oh, clearly.
Right.
Like,
makes you reevaluate the whole thing, huh?
Yeah, like, it has, like, because The Pimp Butterfly is one of my favorite albums. Like, just, like, it's at least in my top 10. Right? So, like, now I have to go back and, like, okay, is he mentioning Drake here? Is he slightly tossing, shaded Drake? Like, I don't know anymore, like, at this point. But yeah, every song from Euphoria, DNA, to even having Dre start Not Like Us, you're like, oh, you're not going to say anything else? Like, that's it? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're here for a celebration, but like I said earlier, we are here for a funeral.
Yeah,
we are here to say goodbye to Aubrey Graham.
R.I.P. Aubrey. You'll be missed, I guess. Looking at the set list and looking at the people he brought out too, right? Like, of course he brought Mustard back out for Not Like Us, which makes total sense. But we bring in Dr. Dre. Like, I felt like Snoop was coming at that point. Like, once Dr. Dre comes out, it's just like, how is Snoop not here?
I was expecting Snoop more than Dre, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like Snoop doesn't do appearances anymore. I'm just like, if you can get Snoop, one of the most iconic, black figures in American history, on Juneteenth, I was like, it all just seemed like that was where we were leading. But then Drake, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you got to figure the relationship. Yeah, the relationship that he has with Dre it's been paramount. So like you expect that yes.
Zeno, I need you to write a tell-all book, or like just a timeline history with every reference, because you want it today. I love this.
We had a black hippie reunion, man, at this concert. Oh my goodness!
I don't know how many people realized how crazy that was. Like, seeing all of them on stage again, I was just like, "Yo, he in Canada? That's crazy."
He is. Did you guys see the video he dropped the other day? We're just like, hey, it's Snoop in Toronto celebrating K-Dot. I'm just like, in Toronto. He made sure we knew he was in Canada. That is wild.
That's crazy.
That was so funny.
Like, the theatrics is everybody on Kendrick's team, on Kendrick's side, is just, it's amazing to watch.
This is a movie, man. Like, it does not feel real. Just like, it's so ridiculous at times. Where it's just like, you made a song where you rap into this man's child and say, play this when you're 18. It's like, huh? And like Didge was saying earlier about how calculated everything was, of like, doing it on Juneteenth is so funny, not just in the moment, but he did it and he made sure the whole world was able to see it. We have people reacting to it on YouTube, on Twitch. We have people recording on their phones in the building. We have people recording themselves watching it on their phones from their house. You know what's going to happen? Apple and Google and TikTok are going to say, on this date, 1 year ago, and every Juneteenth from now to the end of time is going to just pop up on everybody's phone. Last year, you were watching Not Like Us 6 times in a row. And it's like, it's going to be on Drake's For You page every Juneteenth forever.
And it's so calculated to the point of, what better way to show to attack an artist who you said cosplays as black for when he can, for when he needs it, not even when he can, when he needs it, when he needs to rely on black culture to better himself. What better way to be like, okay, the ultimate day for black people? Like, it's just insane.
And then to bring it back full circle, especially when a person will again say, you rap like you want to free the slaves. Well, on this day, that's when the very last slave in American history found out that we were free. So it's just like, yes, we care about this, sir. This is important to us. Like,
20,000 people in unison yelled, "What is it, the braids?" at this man.
That line was so loud. Like, that line was so loud. The A minor, like, I wanted Not Like Us played 6 times, and that's because the first 2 times we didn't get past the first verse. Like, the first 2 times we got there and they yelled so much that the track just cut out, and he just stood there and just embraced it for a while.
We was all on Discord just like, are you serious right now? Y'all see this? Are y'all hearing this right now?
And every time I sang it again, we ran it back. Each time.
For sure. Each time I was back in like it was the first time.
That's the thing. It's like he dropped a song that electrified the world had it play on Juneteenth. And again, we get lost. I feel like we all get lost in how much of a bop. Also, shout out to Mustard for an incredible track there. But like how much of a bop that song is. But again, the lyrics, like, certified lover boy, certified PDF file. You know, and it's just like...
You got everybody saying this at birthday parties, concerts, cookout, block parties, like...
Here, there were 20,000 people all yelling that at you. You're just like... You just gotta live
5
with
times,
that.
Didge. Yelling at you 5 times. A minor.
Like,
5 times.
You have to live with that.
And your response is just posting photos of you on Instagram, like you unbothered. Like, sir, we know this bothers
like
you.
That is the ether that makes your soul burn slow. Like that is what Nas was talking about way back then. And this is what he meant.
Man yelled, freaky ass nigga. Held the mic out. The entire crowd just chanted 69 God. I would die. Like, literally.
I'm retiring and going to an island. I'm done. Like, I can't exist anymore.
Yeah, like Drake is stronger than me to still be posted and still in this industry. I would exodus out of here, man. So hard.
I'd have came out with a pop rock album the next day. I don't do rap no more. I am now Aubrey. I do emo music.
Yeah. Calling him a colonizer on Juneteenth that'll go down as history.
Like, who gonna listen to Drake's next album and be like,
he's gonna have his fans. Let's be honest. Drake's gonna still have his fans. They still got the people who are caping for him online. I think the biggest thing is the cool factor ain't gonna be what it used to be. Like, OVO Gerald still finna listen to Drake's next album, but the cool factor not about to be there. LeBron was there. You had Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan on stage dancing. Russell Westbrook I ain't seen him happier a day in my life. Like, the
last time I saw him cheesing that much was when he played with KD. That's how long it's been.
Like,
wow,
that man was on stage having the time of his life. Like it was
Just doing
insane
that the whole time.
the entire time. Like DeMar DeRozan, top 5 probably Raptor all time. Like let's be honest, he's probably top 5 in their franchise. And it's
I put him at like 3 or 4, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's for sure top 5, and he's there dancing on stage to your biggest ops. And obviously he's from Compton, or I don't know if he's specifically from Compton, but I know he's from LA. So it makes sense that he would be a Kendrick fan and all that. But it's still like the optics of it is like, dang, he spent a lot of years in Toronto just to go back, and it's
one of the lyrics is "You didn't deserve him." That's the thing, where it's just like, you know, because when Kendrick said that, she's like, "Oh, okay, but we know DeRozan and Drake are cool," and then he on stage like, "I guess they're not."
Like it was just so like that cool factor. I feel like it's just gone. Like you said, the amount of people who are either reacting to it, who are loving it, who are referencing the diss just in general. It played throughout the playoffs and NBA. Like it was the commercial music on NBA on TNT for like the rest of the playoffs.
Wow. Yeah, especially like during a lot of the Mavericks and who did they play? They just lost.
The Celtics.
Celtics.
But the Timberwolves before that, they played
T-Wolves.
Yes, thank you. Their conference finals. That's how I wanted to talk about. Yeah, like during every like game, every commercial, it's just not like us. It's just playing.
Yeah,
like,
there was a weatherman in Houston who put Not Like Us into his weather forecast. He was talking about how it was like 98, so it's still really hot. But the Dallas area, the San Antonio area, he's like, yeah, we're not in a heat wave, but they not like us. They not like us. And it's like, you. The
man said, how many stocks do I really have in stock? Then the 10-day forecast popped up, and he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just like, it's over. And you know, I follow this guy on TikTok. He does songs all the time in his weather forecast, but like that one went super viral. And I'm like, it's over.
It's just so his career will probably I feel like it took a major hit. It'll probably survive. I don't think his next album's going to flop because I think enough people are still blinded and going, Drake won anyway. But that cool
Drake is a great artist. We need to like remember that. But yeah, like you said, that factor is gonna be a huge hit. He just needs to make good. I know that's easy to say, but he needs to make good music. Like you can't come out with BBL Drizzy memes and like featuring with Sexy Red after the only thing that pops in anybody's head is
who takes that and makes it into a whole nother track. Like BBL Drizzy.
Yeah.
Like we're taking what you create and make it better. Like it's very difficult for this man at the moment.
You can't come out with Wagwan Delilah after this. Like I thought J. Cole doing Grippy was bad. He came out with Wagwan Delilah.
That's my point of like, if he can just stop and that's the hard part. I think the biggest hit to Drake's legacy here in all of this is Kendrick made the entire world realize how corny Drake is.
Yeah. Because
Drake's always been corny. He's always been this. The difference is, since he was at the top, we just chalked up to, oh, that's Drake. But now that somebody's seeded some doubt, seen some questions, made you kind of look at him a little differently, you're just like, oh yeah, Drake's weird.
It's when you got like that, that person that's corny, you just like, all right, that's just them. And then you like somebody points it out and you realize, they make you realize like, no, that's annoying as shit how corny that person is. And you're like, oh, it is. I really don't like it.
In social media terms, Kendrick made us all realize that Drake gives us the ick, and Drake is gonna have to fight that back. That's gonna be the hard part.
Which is hilarious because again, his fans they'll always support him
for sure.
And I will say, like, because like I've been very biased during all this. Like, I've never listened to a Drake album, so I had no clue what his music. Like, I only know a few songs, and one of them being like the one song that made him popular when we was back in like late middle school. I don't even remember it this time, but it was like a very first song. So yeah, so I think
best I ever had. I was trying to think what song you was talking about.
No, that's literally what it is. Like,
I was about to say, Drake's got a lot of hits. I don't know which one that is specifically.
It's like that, and I think Pound Cake is the only other song I've listened to by his and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's mainly just gonna be his image because again, he's been quiet, but he has been posting and whatnot. And you know, he right now his behavior is like, you know, the person that has like the live, love, laugh poster in their like house.
Yeah.
Like they always talk about giving
Yeah.
good energy and like doing great things, but in reality, they actually don't. Like, you know, the actions don't match up with what's being shared essentially. So yes, whenever he drops a new album, I'm sure a lot of people will listen. But I also think a lot of people will listen because it's like, okay, what is Drake's life after
Yeah.
this demolition essentially?
It's
You know,
For sure.
it's just in terms of his albums, like even personally, like I want to say Views, and that was 2016. That might have been the last album where I was like, I'm really liking this. Like More Life had maybe one or two tracks that I enjoyed. Scorpion I just did not like, neither did I really like. I think Certified Lover Boy might have had a couple or whatever, but the last three, Her Loss, Honestly Never Mind, and For All the Dogs, could have kept all three of those. I know he released some singles for like their, I think it's called like Scary Hours edition for whatever. Cause I know First Person Shooter was on the Scary Hours edition of For All the Dogs, but it's like that was just one track out of many that I just. So I think that's also been what's been happening with what's been happening with Drake's music is a lot of people have also been thinking like, man, you don't make the same music that you used. Your music sound kind of hurt now.
Yeah.
Like before he would kind of make the tracks, but now it sounds like you are hurt and angry at women. And that's to what I was saying very earlier, how he's starting to alienate his women fans. It sounds like whatever happened between Views and More Life and Scorpion, he just got really hurt. And he feels like he's lashing out with his music. And I'm not here for it. And I think a lot of people aren't as here for it. But like you said, he's going to have his fans. He does need to make a mature masterpiece. I don't know if he has it in him at this point. I would love to be wrong.
But that goes into him being like more honest with himself. Like he has to do the Mr. Morales thing where Kendrick dipped for a good while, was going to therapy. Like he's just putting all his stuff out there. I don't know if Drake wants to do that. Again, like I don't know this man
serious, yeah.
Personally, like I don't know what he be dealing with in his personal life and whatnot, but I'm just like, from what I've heard and like what Dish has mentioned and just the behavior, it's just like I don't know if he's ready to make a mature album or like any resemblance of that at the moment.
He needs to, like you guys are saying, he needs to mature. He needs to make a mature album. Like he needs to mature just in general. I feel like listening to his music, like Cliff, you were saying, his biggest hits were when we were in high school, you know? And it's like, that's not a problem, but I feel like his music hasn't evolved. And I feel this way a little bit about Taylor Swift sometimes too, where it's like making songs geared towards that high school audience when you're in your early 20s. That's cool. When you're about to hit 40 and you're in your mid 30s, if you want to keep your core audience, you have to level up. You have to mature. And that's what Mr. Morale was, right? Like Kendrick was very open and raw, and some people didn't like it, but I think that was just a natural like evolution of him as an artist. Whereas Drake feels like he's still, ironically, pandering to that 17, 16-year-old demo. And it's like he needs to take the mask off too, because that's something that we've seen is like different accents, different styles, bringing on different artists and like biting off of their stuff. And it's like, what does Drake sound like in 2024? You know?
Yeah, and I think another question would be, I'm sorry, Digits out.
Oh no, you're fine.
Okay, because I think the question is, does Drake have something to say? Because I feel like if in comparison to Kendrick's discography, which I love how this has now just become a full conversation in regards to music and like artistry and all that. So like when I look at
show's about.
Right, it's like when I look at Simple Butterfly, like it's a very specific moment within the zeitgeist, within the culture, within what was happening in 2015 and whatnot. You know, transitions that we were dealing with. You know, one person coming in, one going out, one coming in, blah 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 blah. You know, Black Lives Matter protest, George Floyd protest, et cetera. And he's also taking the music that a lot of us grew up with, you know, jazz, funk, R&B, and all that stuff, and combining that and then Dan was kind of that. Seems like it was kind of like Kendrick's reaction, like, oh, okay, what I thought would have happened didn't, so now here's how. So and then Mr. Morales was like sort of like that therapy session, just like, okay, this is all my grievances. This is at least what I've been doing to try and understand more of the world and all that stuff. And I don't know if Drake has decided to do that. Honestly, that's probably what it is, because he isn't a lot of beast, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that also goes into part of it. Like, it's I don't know if Drake just takes the time to really figure out, like, yo, what is going on? How do I feel about the world, et cetera, et cetera.
So to the point of, he hasn't grown. I think that is far too often an issue with hip hop artists, because hip hop is such hip hop, of course, obviously has been around since the 80s, but it's, in terms of genres, it's a very young genre. Like, and I think it a lot of times, because it skyrocketed to popularity so fast, they haven't had the chance to let the artist essentially grow and mature, because it's the same thing almost with pop music. Because you're obviously popular, you have to stay with what is popular. That doesn't necessarily mean you get the chance to grow as an individual, because you're essentially chasing fads. And I think that's what happened with hip hop. That's what's happened with R&B a lot lately. Clearly, it's pop in nature and pop, but it's the artists who don't know how to break that mold and grow on their own, because they're just so focused on, well, I need to chase just what's popular, what's getting the young people, what's getting this major crowd. You're never going to grow. And I think that's sort of the trap that Drake has fallen himself in. I think too many hip hop artists find themselves in, and the ones that break the mold and that know how to do it, those are the ones that truly have the lasting impact. Like, and not to say that you necessarily have to change everything you rap about. Pusha T been rapping about the same topic since I was in high school. But I guess the way that he raps about it, and sort of, he knows who his niche crowd is going to be. And I think that's sort of what you're saying about with Drake, is like, Pusha T is like, I'm going to grow as my own person. I'm going to rap about what I rap about. I don't necessarily need my crowd to always be, these 16 to 24 or whatever, the people who are the it crowd of the day. And I think that's where Drake falls in. That's why you're getting him to doing his UK rap arc. He's going down to Atlanta, doing all of those stuff, the Wagwan Delilah part. Like, it's because he's always trying to face, well, what's it for the day, not what am I as an artist.
That's why I think he thought the AI thing was okay, because if you guys remember, that's at the height of the AI covers on TikTok.
Fair.
So like him getting Tupac, he probably thought that was cool, because we're laughing at Patrick belting out ballads and stuff on TikTok because it's funny, haha. But it's like when you exactly. But it's like, if the problem is Drake doesn't realize that he's Drake sometimes, right? And it's like, that's funny, haha, on a TikTok for a second. That's still bad. AI is not great in art. But when you were the biggest rapper in the world, right? When you were the head of the big three, right? Bringing in AI from a rap legend to diss somebody from that same city, is bad. And it's like, I think he just missed
in another album too. Like, like he used the whole interview with Tupac in Silver Butterfly at the end. I'm just like, you're not doing what you think you are, essentially. And it's the image thing. And I think, to go back to what Disha mentioned about, who am I as an artist, and in relation to like hip hop still being a young art form, I think it also goes into a lot of, artists, especially in the genre, questioning whether or not when they want to say something and when to not. When there's like, hey, all right, I've said everything I wanted to say. This is it. Especially when I look at a lot of the OGs. Like, when I look at Outkast, I'm just like, Big Boy and Andre, they're not making rap albums anymore. It's like, it feels like we said everything we wanted to say as a duo, as artists, and like, now we're kind of doing our own separate things because it's more honest to who we are and what we're just currently looking for and what we're just trying to live in our own lives, you know. And then, again, the same thing goes with Kendrick and his albums, and even with J. Cole. Like, I haven't listened to My Delete Layer yet, but at least, you know.
It's fire. Now that he took off the disc, look, I'm back in. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I didn't tell people, but I was back in the next day. I was listening to it the next morning. I was mad that night, and I was like, "But this album is fire." I just deleted the diss track from mine and kept it moving.
Okay.
Oh, he deleted it for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know. Eventually, I saw he just deleted it completely. But no, that album is fire, and that was such an anomaly for J. Cole. I think hopefully people realize that moving forward with him. Grippy was a step back. I don't know what that was. I can't excuse that, but everything outside of that has been fine.
You know, and artists make mistakes. I feel like that was him trying to like channel like that Drake level like trolling, right? Again, like Drake is very much in tune with social media and memes and jokes. That's part of his charm. That kind of bit him in the butt in this beef.
Yeah.
But like that's his whole shtick. So I don't think Grippy was ever supposed to be serious. I think that was just J. Cole being funny. But it was just so bad where it wasn't funny.
It came at the wrong time for sure.
Right, because again, it goes back to image where, like, Jermaine, you give us like a conscious rapper vibe, but like it's about your own experience. You know, 2014 Force So Drive, KOD, For Your Eyes Only. Like again, he's doing very similar things as K Dot. But wait, is there a comment? I saw.
Yeah, no, he just go. It's. I just saw
it's Grippy.
I saw the comment. Sorry,
Grippy. I call it that because it's Grippy.
And to be fair, we don't know when he actually recorded that. Like, because I remember, because obviously he's on Red Leather on We Still Don't Trust You, which came out in the height of the beef, and everybody was like, "Oh, see, he's addressing all the stuff in the beef." Because one of the lyrics in there is, he wants. I'm gonna get it completely wrong, but essentially he's talking about he wants to be in the action, but when gun starts to blast, then he turns into a track star. That's actually the lyric exactly.
That is so accurate, honestly.
And so that's the thing. Everybody was like, "Oh, you know, he's talking about the beef. That's why he dropped the disc." You know, because in the whole thing, he sort of reflecting on him, and it's like that track probably was recorded last year, but it just happened to be released at the right time. So I'm gonna give him a little grace and say, what if he just recorded Grippy like last year and he just wanted to have some fun, and it just got released at the wrong time.
Timing is everything, and it was just that's when you say, "Hey, delay that feature, please." You just like, "Hey, please, just push it back a couple months." I'll give you the money back. Cut me off the song right now. Honestly, but no, like evolution in art is the tricky part. I think that's going to be the most important thing for Drake moving forward. For Kendrick, just make an album, please. Like,
yeah, I wanted to address Zeno's question earlier. Who do you think is going to have the next best album from the Big Three, the formerly known as Big Three?
I mean, I got a hot take. I want to say J. Cole. Like, and here's my reasoning.
That's a hot take for you, because I'm going J. Cole too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Kendrick's here, and we already established that there's no Big Three. It's just him.
I don't think Kendrick dropping though. I
don't think like K-Dot doesn't need to. I'm like remember what I told y'all earlier? Remember I told y'all in the chat? I was like, what if he just announced his retirement after all this? And I'm like, where do you go? Like at this point, he just got to make a full jazz album, or like a spoken word album, or something. Like just start doing poetry. I mean,
could just do a bunch of features, you know. I don't know.
That's I feel like he might take the "I'm just gonna pop out." Like that might be his new thing. Yeah, like I'm just gonna pop out and show every so often. I don't know if we get another album, and
watch him pop up on an Anderson Paak album.
If we're talking a J. Cole album versus the next Drake album, like I said, the last 3 Drake albums I wasn't rocking with. Might delete later. Outside of that diss was great.
And J. Cole has a lot more consistency.
In this world where hypothetically the Big Three all drop albums, I've got to give it to Kendrick.
Yeah, if all 3 drop, yes, Kendrick is going to have the best. I just don't see Kendrick dropping. That's my thing.
Right. Right. That's why it's like if we're gonna play in that world, I'm gonna go with Kendrick. Is he gonna drop? Maybe not. That was honestly one of Drake's only like legitimate disses from this whole thing, where it's just like, well, I'm glad I got you to finally make some music, and it's just like, yeah, I know, right? Hate really brought the artistry out of K Dot, and it's like, can you channel that into an album, a Drakeless? Like, I don't need more diss tracks about Drake. Just go make some music. That's all I want. And Metro, keep making drums. That's funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if K-Dot just like, again, if you start just pop out, go to different genres. Like, I want to see you on a rock album on some features. Like, I don't know, like hook up with Highest Coyote if need be. And
if he reunites with Taylor Swift, it's over. The music industry is just gonna implode.
That'd be hilarious. We're gonna see what I forgot. I know J. Cole got a feature coming out soon. I think it's with. I want to say Benny the Butcher again. I could be wrong, but I want to see how that turns, because Griffey. It shook me, but Might Delete Later was so fire. Like Trader Truth and Ibiza.
Are you saying it gripped you?
No, it did not at all.
It gripped me.
But no, Might Delete Later, like it was great. I'm so sad that it got overshadowed by that diss track, because, like I said, Trader Truth and Ibiza is the last track on that album, and you can tell that J. Cole just threw in 7-minute drill like after the fact, because that felt like Trader Truth and Ibiza feels like an outro, like the way the beat goes, the way that he's sort of talking over it, it feels like the end of an album. And it feels like somebody just sort of gave him bad idea, was like, you should probably respond to Kendrick right now. And he didn't need to. Like, that evidence has shown that was a footnote in this whole fiasco. It would have been even less if he just wouldn't have said anything. Like, Stealth Mode is fire. Pie is fire. It's just
7-minute drill, that came when? Right after like that?
Yeah, it was probably because it came like a week or two later, because Might Delete Later.
It was before Euphoria, right?
Yeah,
he could have just not said anything at all, if we're being honest. He like
at all.
Yeah, we had the whole speech at whatever concert he was at before Drake ever responded.
Yeah, I believe we had all that, and I do agree. It was like, it was peer pressure. I think even Kendrick addressed it in Not Like Us when he's talking about how he did Cold Foul. Like, I feel like he was kind of like, even his diss to Cole, quote unquote, and like that was, ain't no big three. I'm just the best. Y'all weak. And then he turns his focus to Drake and just goes in on him.
Right. That's why it's like Cole could have just stayed out entirely. Once you jump, I still stand on, like, if you jump in, stand on business.
Yes.
Even if you don't diss again, don't delete the song. Don't delete the song's whack.
Don't go up there and don't delete it. Don't go up there and apologize. You shouldn't have did it in the first place. I don't know.
I mean, because
I wouldn't have apologized. I would have just said, "Hey, I took my shot. It may have not been the best one, but I took my shot, and I was just let it go."
Right.
That's fair. You know, that's fair, because I appreciate when this man, I was like, "Hey, I appreciate it. You tried something. It didn't work out for you. Bet you leave."
I like the track. That's the crazy part. I like the track. I'm not gonna hold you. I was in there telling Leo, look, Cole had a hit. K Dot probably was gonna end up winning, but Cole had something for me. He had a good jab. Yeah. And then like 12 hours later, it was just that.
That's the thing where it's like, in Euphoria, Kendrick says it's a friendly fade. Let's keep it that way. So I feel like the sportsmanship of we dissing each other, but we're not taking it too serious. Mm-hmm. When you start bringing folks' wives and kids and all the other stuff, that's when it like snowballed for Drake and Kendrick. But like Cole making a jab, it's just like, okay. Well, and that's why K-Dot didn't even come back and dissed him anymore after. He's like, all right.
Well,
I mean, we are talking about the dudes that made Forbidden Fruit, to be honest, like, which is a classic combo, like, which they should do more of. But I'm like, well, go ahead. You was about to say something.
No, well, rumor is the reason why Cole backed out was Davies' score. I think it was Davies. It had to be Davies. Was sort of like, you might not want to do this. Kendrick doesn't like Drake, and this is going to be a lot worse than I think you think it's going to be. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick called him himself. Is like, hey, bro, this ain't for you.
Like, hey.
Say sorry, move on. You my bro. I respect you, bro, but trust me, stay out of this one, okay?
I'm with you on that. Leo.
If this happens, it is so over for Drake. I swear to God. Like, you cannot come back from that.
Again, I'm gonna keep saying it. Forbidden Fruit is a banger. From
I would be ecstatic.
Is anyone still checking on Big Sean?
Whoa, what's with the random Big Sean? Hey, like I don't. Oh, he had an album that dropped.
Yes, he did.
An album that dropped during this. I still ain't listened to it. Okay, that's a fair question.
You had Euphoria on repeat 20 times. You never listened to Big Sean's album.
He had an album that dropped.
I feel bad for Big Sean. I feel bad for Dua Lipa. So many artists had songs and albums drop. See?
I think his might have just been a single.
Okay.
But either way, it just...
Even Meg is fighting for her life out here.
It's a shame.
It's crazy. Guys, do you have anything else we wanted to hit on? We covered a lot, surprisingly, in this short amount of time we've been here.
No, this was fun. I don't get to talk music enough.
I know, right? We need to start adding music to the things we cover here on TCA. I'm down, I guess.
This was a lot of fun.
I'm surprised you asked me because
damn, Big Sean.
How many albums have we all like? Again, exactly. I didn't even know Big Sean was releasing an album. I don't pay attention to this man at all.
That's the crazy part. I like Big Sean. I'm about to listen to the single right after this.
No, like I'm with you. Like that's fair. Like I have no bad animosity. Like I have no animosity towards Big Sean. I just don't check on him that much.
That's fair.
So I didn't even know he had an album. Like I was checking for No Worries more than him this month.
He be getting flamed on. He be getting flamed online though. I be feeling bad for him. The worst bar you ever heard. I don't know if y'all ever seen that tweet. It's like, what's the worst bar you ever heard? Whoo, he be all through that. It'd be a shame. I'd be like, damn, man.
The man gets cooked a lot, I swear. Yep, that's right. Yep, he be getting cooked. That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh, no, but this was fun. I definitely want to talk more music. Kendrick, keep making music. Like I said on Twitter, drop another album and my life is yours.
Yeah, do not listen to Cliff. Dude, he over here saying, oh, he could just retire now. I wanted you to mute that
Be
out.
the LeBron James of the rap industry. Go for 20 years, man.
Seriously.
Or for our film nerds, just be a character yourself. Just keep going.
There we go.
Right? If you can. Because like, legit, I was genuinely so I'm like, sir, you done made 4 great albums. 5. Because I keep forgetting Section 8 and whatnot. But I'm just like,
a lot of Kendrick fans
hit after hit. Which is fair, because it's just like, once you have a discography like that, where you just keep dropping banger after banger, like, eventually, the other just slowly, leaves the forte. But
and this is why Big Sean be getting cooked.
Oh, we didn't need.
Wait,
I'm not reading that out loud on the stream.
Yeah,
but
I need to read the lyrics.
No, that's a legit Big Sean lyric. It's a shame.
Oh man.
Damn.
Chat is coming in.
On the live stream. Like, he didn't do nothing.
He did it. Somebody just asked her. We still checking for him.
Oh, that's right. Yes, Leo. Thank you. 2 Black Panther albums. I keep because he did perform one of the joints from Black Panther 2.
Ooh, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Like, again, you got movie soundtracks. Like, Drake, you got to do something. I'm not a fan of you, but like, you got to hop on a superhero movie somewhere.
Nah, he's just gonna go back to Sexy Red, I guess, which will now just forever be funny because that one line will always just ring in my head.
It's a shame because that's
Guys, it's been fun hanging though.
Yeah, it has. This has been a great time.
Where can they find you and your work and your thoughts? Cliff, I'm starting with you.
Oh, yeah, you can find me, like the name says, on Twitter at Cliff and La La Land, reference to one of our favorite movies of all time. But yeah, you can find me there. All my links to like my letterbox, my writing, all that stuff, reviews. You can find it right there on that link in that Twitter.
Bet. Didge, the Destined. What you cooking, bro?
You can find me on Twitter at Didge_DEE, as it says in the corner there. On my personal YouTube, you can find all my gaming stuff, where I am currently twitching Diablo 4, and I'll have some Elden Ring videos of me getting really frustrated and dying a lot. So that won't be live.
Heck yeah.
I got too angry yesterday, so that'll probably be pre-recorded video, so I can edit out a lot of my anger. And then obviously also on the Geek Set podcast, you can find us there. We will be going live tomorrow at 3. So catch us then.
That is 3 Central?
Oh, Central, yes. I should probably
4 p.m. Eastern is when you can find Didge in the Geek Set podcast.
I live my life Central, you guys, so any of my times are also always Central.
Awesome. Well, guys, you can subscribe, like, leave the comments. Thank you to everyone who joined us for the live stream. If you're watching the replay, make sure you check out the other videos on the channel. Check out the Amateur Otaku. We're talking Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, and Naruto this week. Here, we're talking Avatar: The Last Airbender, because of course we are. Brandon actually watched it for the first time. You get to hear his thoughts. It's going to be lit. Until next time, though, mustard on the beat. Peace out. Beat the ass and hide the Bible if God watches.